Hello everybody, this is Trina. I am going to go ahead and start this video. This is video number 4, part A. Yes, the watercoloring did take a little bit of time, and that's even fast forward 3 times the speed. So I'm going to go ahead and get started kind of telling you what's going on. Of course, I will put part B in the second card in the description box below. And I will probably have them up on the same day, so like within 15 minutes of each other, so you won't be missing out on a card video. So I wanted to go ahead and use my Arteza real brush markers, and this color that I'm using currently is called Parma Gray, and it's number 143. I actually got the 96 pack of real brush markers from Arteza, and I would have to say they are turning out to be one of my favorite markers. And I've never used these type of markers before, but I sure do like them. So the second color that I'm going in with is Denim Gray or Denim Blue, and it's number 186. This one I'm just doing as my second tone, kind of bringing the shadow, the color of the flower up, and then I will go ahead and go in with Night Sky Blue, which is number 141. I did check the 48 piece set, and they have those same colors in them. I don't know if they have the green in them. I forgot to check. But the greens that I use, which will be coming up right after I get these done, will be Crocodile Green, which is 126, and then Olive Green, which is 146. So now I'm bringing in the darker shade, which is the Night Sky Blue, and it works really well. You don't have to add a lot. You just need to, add a little bit of darkness down at the base of the flower and any, darker areas of the flower, and it turns out pretty nice. As I said before, these are actually really, really nice markers. I'm assuming the Zig real brush markers or watercolor markers, whatever they are, would work just as well, if not better. They're supposed to be really nice, and they really piqued my attention a long time ago, so I am going ahead and adding water now because I want to just blend it in if I can. It doesn't really do a whole lot once the colors are down, but I still do it just because it gives just a little bit of blend as I go. There they are. Now I'm going to go ahead and start on the thank you. I do want to let you know that if you want to skip all of this and go ahead and go to the card making part, the timestamp is 14:56, so 14 minutes and 56 seconds, and that will be where I start the card making. I will leave that info in the description box below as well. If you don't have the sound on, then there you go. So yeah, I'm just going in kind of the same way, only I'm kind of doing it a little different. I wanted to make sure I knew where my shadows were going to be because I didn't want them too much. The last one I did that was too much shadow, I had to heat emboss with gold the thank you sentiment so that you could actually see it. So this one I'm trying to tone down the shadow and go back in with the lighter at the end instead of at the beginning like I did with the flowers. And it works out pretty decent. Again, like I said, I haven't been using these hardly at all. I'm learning as I go, and so this is kind of the beginning of my learning here. So I'm just trying to make sure I do flicky motions to make it look kind of like a shiny banner. And I like how it didn't turn out too dark so you can still read the sentiment. And the color really blends it out. Had I thought about it, I probably would have done the you know, darker, really dark, and then lighter, and then use the lighter to blend out the others instead of just using the water. The water does help, which reminds me you don't want to go really dark on or really heavy on the water either. So, but it all works. These are the crocodile and olive green colors. I go in with the crocodile and then I go, or the other way around, I can't remember. I go in with the crocodile first because it's a lighter version, and then I do the olive green. Now, you can definitely make those into flower buds, which would work too. So you could do those in blue or whatever color you wanted to match your colors. The reason I chose blue on these ones was because not only is it one of my favorite colors right now, but I wanted to pull out the blue that was in the rainbow stripe zip strip that you use in the card itself. And I don't even know that you can actually see it very well. Oh, on these ones you can. But so that's one of the things that you can do is you can use any of those colors as a focal color, and so that's what I decided to do. I decided to go ahead and pull out the the sapphire color and try to excuse me, match it as well as I can, and so that's what I'm doing. Again, these are the greens here. They are really just, you know, paint them on and then add some shading of the darker color. So first I'm going ahead and going all around all of the leaves and the stems. And I left all of this in. I just sped it up 3 times fast, or 3 times the speed, so it doesn't really take as near as long as it actually did. I was being, you know, fairly careful with my coloring. You don't have to be. You can be extremely messy if you want to. You don't even have to add that much color if you don't want to. If you want it to be lighter, you can do that too. If you just add color at one end and then grab a little bit of water and pull it, it'll make the ends really, really, really light. But I kind of wanted, with the dark blue, I wanted it to be a more vibrant, strong, rich tone of green. And so now I'm just kind of going in and adding some shading for the leaves. Luckily, this is fairly easy to do because the leaves are, the stamp or the paper itself, the image itself has, you know, designated shadows already in the image, so it makes it very easy to use as a guide to tell you where you need to put your shadows. I do add a little bit more than what they show, just because, you know, because I gotta do something like that somewhere. But now I'm just kind of double checking and making sure everything has enough shadow, and that's pretty much where I'm at. Here soon, got another couple of minutes, and then we will be starting the card making part, but I definitely wanted to show you how I went about doing the watercolor with these different colors and whatnot. So I'm excited to be able to use these markers though. These I had them for like a month before, maybe 2 months before I was actually able to play with them, because one of my favorite things is watercoloring with the Close to My Heart ink pads, and I still love doing that, but these are kind of fun right now, so that's what I'm working with. You could definitely use these with the Close to My Heart ink pads. They would coordinate perfectly, but this is an exciting change. So now in this particular card, I went ahead and used another stamp set, which Feels Like Home Scrapbooking, D1821, and from Close to My Heart, and I went ahead and you'll see that I think it's the next step that I do. Unless I cut this out. I do cut this out, but I don't think I would make you watch that. So I stamped the wreath from the Feels Like Home Scrapbooking stamp set. And I did that in the intense black so that I knew I could watercolor with it. And so right now I'm just going around it because there's no die cut for it, and I haven't done my I haven't made a what is it called? A cut file for it yet. So I'm just going around it with my X-Acto knife just really quick. It actually took a lot shorter of amount of time than I thought it was going to. And it turned out better than than it usually does for me, so I'm thankful for that. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have, and I'm going to trim it up and, do a little fussy cutting just because, I'm fussy like that. So, and then I'm going to watercolor the leaves and the buds and all that, and it will go, because I use the same colors, it will go perfectly. This is definitely not in the instructions of the Love at First Sight Workshop Your Way, but I still like how it turned out. And it just goes to show you that you can kind of mix and match. You can use the stamp set that's in the Love at First Sight kit as well as the other stamp sets that you have. So now I start to get stuff together, and then I was like, wait a minute here. So now I'm watercoloring the leaves and all this, and I think I zoom you in. Yep, there we go. And it's very simple. I mean, the flowers are so small that I really didn't want to do too much as far as blending and all that stuff. I didn't want to muddy them up, so I just went ahead and used, I think that one is denim. I think that's the denim because I didn't want them too dark and I didn't want them too light. So I went ahead and did denim, I think. Either that or it's the night sky. I think it's the denim one though. And then I go ahead and paint the leaves with or color the leaves with I think it's the crocodile. But I think I actually used both of the crocodile and the olive green. I guess we'll have to see, won't we? But again, these kind of tell you where the shadows are, so it makes things a lot easier as far as coloring goes. And there are the flowers. Yep, I do both colors. But again, like I said, this is very simple, and the shading is pretty much mapped out for you, so it's pretty easy to do. So believe it or not, I'm actually trying to stay in the lines this time. Most of the time I don't worry too much about that because watercoloring is watercoloring. You're bound to get out of the lines if you're watercoloring. So that's kind of just the nature of the art medium. But these are definitely more like markers, and you can definitely color them like markers. I love the tip too, because the tip is very much like a paintbrush where you can get little tiny lines, so that is kind of exciting. I very much enjoyed that part. And so I'm just kind of going in and darkening up the shadows, and I mean, since the shadows on the stamp set are actually like the intense black, I wanted to bring in that second tone so that I could make it like a three-tone, because then you have the extreme, they're intense black green, and then you've got the mid-tone, which is the olive green, and then you've got the crocodile green, and that kind of gives you your light, medium, dark all on its own, and that's only using two colors. So, and with these leaves being so small, you really didn't have to do much. So I think we are ready to start the video and get on with the card making. I hope you enjoyed this. Hello everybody, this is Trina. I am going to go ahead and get this card put together. I went ahead and colored everything. I think I'm gonna put the coloring, I've recorded all the coloring. I'm gonna go ahead and put it at the beginning of this video, or maybe right in here and talk you through it. I don't know. We'll see. I guess you'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one together. This one is done a little bit differently. What did I do with the original? Okay, so I am again using the pieces that I cut from the Love at First Sight Workshop Your Way. I am working on this card here, and then I will be working on this card here. I need to do some watercoloring for this one, but I will record that, and either it's going to be at the end of this video or it's going to be on the next one, so we shall see. But this one I'm going to go ahead and do this card here. So I am going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half and use my bone folder. And I used, for coloring this wreath, which is from the Feels Like Home Scrapbooking stamp set, I just stamped it in the Intense Black. And then I colored it with the same colors that I used on here. Actually, I just used the denim, which is the medium tone that I used. And I think it will go really nicely behind this. Just give it a little bit more dimension and whatnot. It might be a little busy, but you know, I'm not too worried about it. I really like how that looks. Not necessarily really busy, but I like how those two look together. So now that I think about it, you know, I don't know that I need, yeah, I need something. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm just gonna stick it right down. Usually I distress the edges with an edge distresser, but now the question is, do I want it lighter or darker? Because, you know, the lighter actually kind of looks nice. Why is that the same exact size? I'm going to have to measure this. This one, I will be right back. Okay, so it was, I had cut this one because I messed one up, and I cut this one a little bit too wide by 1/4 of an inch, so I had to just trim it down 1/4 of an inch. So I'm debating, do I want to go with the lighter color or the darker color? The darker color definitely makes it more regal, I guess. We'll just go with the darker color. Regal, yes, regal. Alright. This needs a little bit down here as well. I am starting to clutter up my desk. Ooh, you should see my desk. It is something crazy going on. Like a wild child was in here. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the same amount of space is all around the piece. And in the instructions it tells you exactly how far. Here, exactly how far. It says 3/8 of an inch, which if you just make sure it's centered like the same on each side, you don't have to worry about too much about that. I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on each of these. Make sure that the flowers are pointed up, and get this even here. Like so. Pretty good. Now, one of the things is when you watercolor, you know, you can kind of see that it's wrinkled a little bit here. it'll show you. Come on. There we go. It's a little bit wrinkled right there. You can put, you know, your adhesive straight across there. I don't seem to mind that. That's just part of watercoloring a card. Another thing is that the more water you put on there, the more wrinkled it will get. So that's something to remember. So this goes across here still. It said to put it at 2 1/4 inches up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I need some scissors. If I can find them. I have more up there, but do I? Oh, one's out on my little lap desk that's out in the living room. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and cut this a little bit longer this time. And then set that aside. Hopefully this will work just fine and be long enough. Oh, that was a good guess. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And 2 1/4, so we've got 1, 2, and then this is the quarter right here. And I want to make sure it's even, so I want to make sure this side is at 2 1/4, which is a little, wait a minute here. Both of them need to be at 2 1/4, and it's a little above on both sides. That side's decent, and that side is decent as well. Okay, and there we go. Alright, so this one is going to go right behind here. And this card calls for a silver thread, but I don't know that I want a silver thread because this already has a kind of like a thread look to it if you look closely. See how it's multiple circles? I love that, but I don't think that I want more going on. I don't know. It will kind of break that up. I think that might actually look nice. Starting to think that maybe having it like that, or even upside down, might look nice, and then trim off the lines for the wreath part. I think that's just going to make it more difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the thread, which is this thread right here. This is embellishing threads in silver. And I don't know how much I want, so I'm just going to trim off a piece. Now, one way to get these straight is to hold it by one end and hold it straight down the other like that, and it kind of straightens it out for you. So I'm just going to curl this around my fingers and see what kind of mess I can make. Oh boy. It's a little on the messy side, I think. Maybe a little too messy. I don't know. Something like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive on the back side of this. Right up here towards the top because I want it to kind of be centered a little bit in the card. So let's see. Or maybe I need to have it right down in the center there. Okay, well I'm going to have to, my goodness, okay, there, and then pull that off there, So now I'm just actually going to add a little bit more over here, and then we'll recoil this maybe and hope that it goes okay. I don't know which one is, oh, that one. Uh-oh. It's not exactly what I wanted either. Oh my goodness. I just want to see if I can get this to work. It's wanting to curl on me like crazy. Oh my goodness, this is just having a, this is rough, like really rough. I don't know what's going on. One and a half, because that one's like, okay. Let's see if we can get that to work. Like that. And then trim off these little peekers. That little peeker, okay. Like that. And then I will put foam on this. Some foam. And I don't know how far up that's going to go. So this one really should be down lower. Closer to the bottom. And then I think I might have some smaller ones down here that might be wide enough for the top. Like that. And then I could that one was a little piece. This one is extra little. And then we'll go for maybe this one here for a little bit wider of a piece. Okay, like that. I think I don't know, something like that. And then this one will need foam tape on the center of it because it's gonna go like, or maybe it doesn't. Let's just fill it up with ATG. Okay. Like that. And maybe that particular one, it shouldn't be there. That way we can move it down a little bit lower if we want, or up higher, or whatever you want to do that way. Because that's really going to block out a lot of that. That. And then we'll pull this off of here. Like that. really thinking that needs to be redone, but I don't want to take the time to do it. Like so. But that's not even. So let's see if we can get that even. I think that's pretty easy. Okay. Okay, and then we will do, I think maybe instead of sequins this time, I'll do just a couple of bitty sparkles. Alrighty. For those of you who are new or fairly new to my channel, welcome, first off. Bitty sparkles are one of my favorites. They're close to my heart. A lot of my stuff is close to my heart. In fact, most of my stuff is close to my heart, though you wouldn't tell by looking around my craft room. But these are one of my favorite things. So one of my favorite crafty things of all time. I think they're just so tiny, but add just the perfect amount of bling and sparkle. I think we need one or two more. And I think it does need one more. So I generally try to do my bling in 3, 5s, or 7s, you know, much like gardening goes. So I think that's gonna be it. I like how simple it is, and I mean, it's busy, but it's I don't know, it all coordinates and it goes well together. And then the bling, it's just the littlest amount of bling. So I think that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm going to try to fit this card in a similar version at the end of this one. If I can't, then I won't be able to, but I'm going to give it my best. If not, it'll be another video coming up after this, so I hope to see you guys in that video or on the next card. Thanks for watching. Bye.